Okay, welcome into my home theater. Before we get started on this journey around my house, me showing you what kind of cockamamie schemes I'm coming up with to improve it, always improving. I've spent the last 24 months since I left my career behind building Obsessed Garage, and I finally feel like I could come up for air, and I'll explain that in this video. But before we jump in, there's something I wanted to mention to you, something I wanted to ask of you. The next weekend, which would be September 3rd, 4th, or September 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. So we're going to run a 4-day, so Friday through Monday, a 4-day, I'm calling it the capacity test sale. I don't do sales, and the reason for that is what I'm hoping to do is provide more value to you. I'm asking people to honor the source. The big ask is that I ask people to pay for shipping, and hopefully the curation of these products from all over the world and searching for the best. I don't know that I always find the best, but I'm pursuing it. I'm chasing excellence, functional excellence, and you guys have been so gracious to really make this a success. And so I want to test our new systems and controls and inventory management. We continue to evolve, we continue to do better, and so I want to do this would be normally a slower time for us, but I don't want to be on the hook to run a sale all the darn time in order to convince you to honor this information. But I do want to we're going to run 10% off and free shipping on pretty much everything in the store. That'll be, again, September 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. So I really appreciate your support. Those of you who bought some from us, I'll send an email, a little invitation to that. But anyway, I wanted to mention that. Go to obsessedgarage.com. It'll be on the banner image in a few, in a week. So anyway, depending on when you're watching this video and whether this is relevant or not. But I guess this video is sponsored by me. Please go and support the capacity sale. Let's test out my employees. Let's see how good they really are. They're pretty darn good. So anyway, let's get into the video. Thanks for watching. All right, welcome to the Mormon household. I think this is probably the third video I'm making. This is obviously my front porch. I have some significant weight on me in all the slacking I've done on my house and projects that have been neglected, things that I want to get done the last, 18 months or so since I left my career behind. I've been working nights, weekends, every day, all day, and have not really focused on improvements and things on our house, and that's a little bit of weight on me. Things that I like to get things executed, get things done. And so I'm going to take you through the house here with this little handheld Sony camera and take you through all the little projects. We'll talk about things that we have done and things that I would like to do. This may be a 2 or 3 year project. We've actually gone out and looked at a few new homes. And looking at homes, there's just no way that I'm going to be able to buy another house. It would have to be something I build. And so we love it here. I mean, we have 6 acres. It's 5.71 acres. And I mean, you can see in the grounds, the property is pretty awesome. I mean, with all that property comes a whole lot of work. We'll talk about that. This will probably be a pretty long video, but I'm going to take you through the whole house, the whole property, the whole area, talk to you about what I have planned, what I'm thinking about. Maybe you can make some comments here and give me some suggestions on things as I'm questioning. But yeah, let's start with the front door and walk around and see how many dollars this adds up to, but I think it's going to be a lot. So hopefully this is an attainable project, but let's walk through the front door and then I'll kind of take you around and we'll come back outside here. All right, so we have Arthur Anderson windows. I think the windows are all good. We had the house painted. Actually had someone come recently and fix all of the blocks, anything that was kind of loose. And so the porch or patio here is good. The flagstone is good. We had to repair some of the steps from that were broken when we did our kitchen. So that's been repaired. They repaired some of the cracks and stuff on the walkway. And then actually this, believe it or not, didn't have flagstone. So we just had this done. And so everything looks good here. So the entry area is nice. One thing we are going to be doing as a very near-term project is changing out all the fixtures. So all the exterior fixtures, there are 3 hanging fixtures out here. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 out front here. And then we'll show you around back. But the major project coming up here outside of fixtures are new doors. And I like the doors. They're wooden doors. Wooden doors in Florida don't last forever. We could certainly repair them and get them up to speed. You'll see a series coming out from us where we're going to be doing some pretty advanced security. And so I have a door company, several door companies come out to quote this. But one of the things that's happened, I don't know when this happened, but you can see the door frame split. Certainly something that's fixable, but I do want to do new doors. I'll show you the home theater door and stuff like that. So that is a project that we're going to be working on here, doing new insulation. We can see air gaps and things like that. So something I'd like to work on. So if you haven't watched the previous videos, here's the entry into the house. And I can't really see anything that we would change here. You know, this is some sort of restoration hardware type fixture. Michelle and our interior designer kind of set up this entry. A couple of our old restoration hardware chairs that were in our dining room before that sort of function here well. And the ceiling was painted. The whole house was this kind of yellow pine. And notice we've painted most of the trim. This color is called Worldly Gray. And then I went and switched out all of the Lutron fixtures, all of the outlets to white. They were all yellow. And so we painted all the yellow wood and the yellow walls. I forget what the white color is called. It'll come to me as we kind of work through the house here. But nothing changes really in the entry here. One of the major things we're thinking about doing, which would modernize the home quite a bit, would be the floors. But I think that would be like a phase 4 project. I think that would be rather expensive. These are true hardwood, real wood floors. It really depends on what we decide to do with the balcony and the banister here. So this is a project that I actually just called my interior designer and asked her if we can start planning for phase 3. But we would like to do completely new stairs. So new stairs and new banister, do something more modern, some sort of wrought iron, something like that. And if you look in the family room here, so if you look upward, you know, changing all of that, I think would really change the style and design of the house, make it more modern. So that's something that is in the, you know, in this phase of updates we would certainly like to make, and that would be to change the stairs and make them look a whole lot more modern. I think we like the, you know, sort of the wainscoting there. It's nice that we had painted, and we changed the fixtures on the walls there and painted everything. And actually this was part of our recent phase 2. We actually had them paint the entire ceiling and got rid of the rest of the yellow wood. We had left this in the previous tour, the last tour, but that has been updated. So family room, this was the couch. This couch doesn't really work very well in this room, but this was the couch in our previous house. It's a restoration hardware couch. You know, having 2 young kids and now a dog, this has gotten beaten up. We may squeeze another couple of years out of this thing, but it's kind of separated. It doesn't have to fix the joint somehow that doesn't connect. So every time the kids jump on this thing, it gets messed up. But this room, I don't see much we would do. One of the things that really transformed is when we painted this, and then we ended up putting some clear glass shelves. So when we turn the light fixtures on, the light is here. So when you turn this on, it shines down through at least the first couple of shelves. And so I don't foresee the need. I don't think we would change anything there. We actually had this thing restained. I don't know if our designer, I would like to whitewash this. I think it would look cool, but I'm not sure. This clearly fireplace matches the house. So I'm not sure that would look tacky, or I don't know how that would go. We of course never use the fireplaces, so none of them work. And so one of the things I knew I was going to make this video here today, so I actually finally got off my lazy rear end and I called the company. These are propane fed from our 500-gallon propane tank that's buried outside. I don't know, none of the pilots will light, and so we have 3 fireplaces, all 3 likely, I mean, they're 12 years old now, I guess 15 years old now. The house was built in 2005, so 15 years old, so they need to, they probably need to be revamped and replaced. Not true wood burning, but propane based. At least we'll have them for the 1 month of the year where they make sense. But again, I don't foresee much in this room outside of one of the things. We already got a quote on this, and we've already had a structural engineer look at it to remove these 3 beams and put a wrought iron high beam, I-beam. And so removing these 1, 2, 3, and then I guess the small section of the 4th beam would open this up to the kitchen, which of course was part of phase 2, I guess you could say. We had this all redone. The kitchen, I think, is good and appropriate. Nothing we really need to change there. Yeah, I mean, everything's functioning great. The Sub-Zero, I think it's a 42-inch fridge with the French door style and the freezer below. And then we have a Wolf, I forget what size was that, 60-inch range, a warming drawer underneath, the Wolf microwave below, and the Scotsman Sonic ice, we call it, this ice. And so the functionality of our kitchen has been fantastic. I have a iron breaker and water softening system, so we don't have a water dispenser in the fridge. We opted not to do that because inevitably that just means water's always running down all over the place. So the functionality of the kitchen's pretty nice. We used to do all of our garbage here, but this door kept getting destroyed. And so now our recycling is here. So this is a, what is this thing? Simple Human. And we always do the Simple Human bags because they fit so much better. And then we moved our garbage over here. This is the hand-waving Simple Human. I think this is a 50-liter, something like that. Q-sized bags. So that does pretty well. I also don't foresee us changing anything in here. I think this room is done. Of course, we had the brick done. That's not true brick. It's actual brick, but they're shaved brick tile to make a brick backsplash. And we painted the ceiling, but this looks appropriate for our style. So I don't think we would change anything here. The table's pretty nice. This is a custom table we had made, some Pottery Barn chairs. These doors will all stay. We're gonna re-insulate them, but those are Anderson doors, I believe. But nothing in the kitchen. I don't think we'll do any updating there. So one of the things we don't love is this house has lots of cabinet organization, which costs a lot of money to the original owner. Notice also, we'll talk about this, I've added a Sonos Take 5 here to the kitchen. But the pantry's over here. And Michelle likes this pantry door. I guess it fits the modern country farmhouse. And we probably need some paint touch-ups. But we're gonna take this out. All of this, old school stuff. You can see the kind of yellow wood that the ceilings used to be. And so we're gonna take all this pressboard garbage out and do something similar to this shelving here. This is 1 3/4 inch pine, and do something like that, maybe a little bit deeper, 12-inch deep shelves, but do this kind of style to the pantry. It would be cool if we did the brick backsplash in there. That would look pretty sick too. That might be a little bit of a waste. And then we have this tile that we'd like to sort of tear out and redo. So then, if you're kind of referencing yourself, that was the front door over there. And then over here is the side door, which we use considerably more often. And so we're going to be replacing the side door. I like having windows in here, but if we change all the doors or replace all the doors, I'd like them all to match. New hardware. This is sort of pretty high-end hardware, but with the kids coming in, flying in and out, stuff like that stresses me out. Not having the paint touched up, and so this is one of those things that I need to start doing. Like on the weekends, I used to maintain all this stuff, and I just don't do as much as I used to. So this area would be part of this phase. I think bathroom and laundry room, which we would love to do mudroom style. And I keep telling Michelle we should do a separate fridge freezer in here. She keeps telling me that we never have enough food for that, and she's probably right. So we may not want to mess with that real estate. But in here, new light fixture, tear all this out. One of the big problems is that Speed Queen makes the best washer dryer, but look how darn ugly they are. So the reason why this is the best washer dryer is because it's a traditional washer and dryer and it actually works. The HE stuff for doing CrossFit and things like that just doesn't function well. And so we'd like to, now we have a darn old golden doodle, you'll see him running around. But we have to find a new place for his, what do they call it, kennel? I call it a cage. So this room we would like to pull the tile up. This is where our designer would help us choose what would we do from a flooring perspective. We'd probably do the same flooring in here, but this is just not our style at all. So pull off this weird tile on the wall, that white trash fancy stuff, and get rid of this thing and do a new guest bathroom. Something I think we'd like to do. I love the solid wood, 8-foot interior doors, especially since they're not yellow wood anymore and painted extremely well. So I don't foresee, and we change the light fixture, I'm sure, but I don't foresee us changing any of the doors or internal hardware, just the exterior doors. So this little cove here I think is fine. We'd painted that as part of phase 2, and then painted this as well, a little Butler's pantry where we keep our mail and all that crap. I wonder if we could do something neater here, but for now, I don't foresee any changes. Maybe you guys can give me some suggestions of what we could do here. We obviously don't, hang wine glasses and stuff like that, so it's kind of useless. But this is where I kind of store my bills and things like that. And I want to. That's another thing I'd like to chase is doing some drawer organization and things like that. So Michelle has done some of that. Going to the Container Store. If you go back and kind of look through, some of these, but we'd like to do some real wood in here. So to do proper wood cabinets instead of this laminate junk, which they, charge a whole lot of money for. And so it's holding this thing up here. I guess the broom is or something like that. Yeah, I have to fix that. So moving along through the rest of the house, I don't think we'll need to do anything to the hallway. We have a new Carrier Infinity that's maybe a couple of years old now. We'll talk a little bit about what we're going to do with the air conditioning here. I told you this is going to be a long video. But this has become, we didn't know what to do with this room, but it's become a room that I use more than anything. I'm a little disappointed in myself. I thought I was ordering a different couch, but notice the height, the back of this couch is super low, which is kind of annoying. But this is a queen size sleeper sofa, because we technically don't have a guest bedroom. So what'll happen oftentimes, we'll give Ryan's room to them, and then, if we have a guest, Ryan will stay down here. But I moved my 77 OLED that was in my home theater into here. I also moved my Marantz preamp, my old B&K Ref 207. So this is a pretty legit little theater setup. Monitor audio gold reference, pretty awesome. A JL Fathom F113. This is a true 5.1 setup with some monitor audio gold silver reference rears. The only thing I'm going to do to this room, we need to figure out how to condition it better. There's a single vent and it gets kind of hot with all this equipment in here. And so I'm going to replace this with a big ass fan. Unfortunately, they're kind of the only game in town that make the best fan. I've searched far and wide. So I'm going to pull this out. I need a fan with more functionality. So I don't always want it turned up as much as it is now. There's a little guy here just chilling, doing his thing during the day. So I'd also like to do Lutron Serena shade in here so I could, close that if I want. I don't find it too big of an issue, but I may do some sort of wireless battery-powered shade in this room. So again, in here, probably eventually new furniture, but I don't think we'll change that in this phase. We're going to test the 4K capabilities of this camera. It's getting kind of hot. So hallway, Nothing needs to be replaced here. All the lights I'd changed out in phase 1, which are all retrofit Cree 3000K. They're Cree CR6s, which are amazing. If you have recessed fixtures, these are completely dimmable and bulletproof, really high quality light ICRI. So hallway, nothing to change. This was part of phase 2 where we redid the master bath. We took the giant tub that was in here out and some sort of restoration hardware style lights, light fixtures. I don't know where we got them. In the shower, it's awesome. I still need to coat this. I want to coat the shower. It's been on my list since the day we did it. But the water closet toilet in there. But this room is functionally excellent, I guess you could say. My side is here, Michelle's side is there. We actually just upgraded. I just put B&W speakers in here. Not that we use them very often. There's also a couple of light fixtures here. One for the shower, Cree CR6. One for, I guess, this other area. So really well lit. This room is pretty functional. These are LED 3000K bulbs, which are kind of hard to find. And then these water Delta faucets. I forget the brand, but these are true metal fixtures, not crappy plastic ones like most of them are. Same thing. That was one thing I was adamant about is I wanted all metal, heavy duty water fixtures, and looks like I've got to fix our dial there a little bit. So then our closet is here, right across, frame of reference. I don't think this will be part of this phase. This will probably be phase 4. But same thing here. I'd love to tear this out and do actual wood, do a better, LED trough, or this is an old, fluorescent fixture up there. But I'd like to do some, some true high quality woodwork, which would be a forever type thing. You would only spend, it would probably cost $10,000 or $12,000 to do that properly. And so, it would be like we're going to be here forever and decide to do that because this pressboard stuff is junk. It's just not good. The master, we have to fix this fireplace, but I don't think we need to do anything here. I hate that stupid little fan. I used to have a fan here, but Michelle talked me into putting the restoration hardware fixture that we had left over in here. We got some spots on the wall that I have to touch up. I think this door is fine. We very rarely use this door, but the master really doesn't, I don't think really need anything other than I got to figure out some sort of fan solution for us. I like a fan when I'm sleeping, especially being in Florida. So nothing really changing in here. Oh, other than, Michelle's very short list is carpet. So she'd like to replace this old carpet. She hates it. I don't think it's that bad, but she doesn't like it. So we're going to replace that. Going over here, we have what I guess could be called a bedroom, but it doesn't technically have a closet. So Michelle's in here doing some work. They need to make this a real office. Same carpet needs to be replaced. What do you think about this room, Shelly? Look at the wires.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's like a storage room right now for furniture that didn't fit anywhere else.
Yeah, so this was in my home theater. I love this thing, but we don't have anywhere to put it. We're going to have to get rid of it. But I'd like to probably do some sort of tile in here and then do some acoustic treatments and do an actual built-in desk of some sort. I'm thinking something kind of coming this way over to the left. I'm not sure what we would do, but I do need to lay this out and get our desks set up and probably have multiple computers in here, one for her, one for me. I don't know. It depends on what I do with HQ, which I'll be touring here soon when we move out production. But this was our dining room, table, furniture, all that stuff. This is like the one room that is, this and Ryan's room have kind of gotten the short end since we moved in here. Closet here. Again, I don't think I'd ever change this, but our not so beloved pressboard closet organization stuff. And then this is pretty well organized, but we have like winter clothes, my old suits and stuff like that. I kept some of them, and then I just put in a, I guess I shouldn't show you this, but too late, a Fort Knox safe. This is a 60-inch tall by 26-inch wide by 20-inch deep. And then I finally got hold of the king-size Columbia pillows, so I need to get some king-size, whatever you call it, pillowcase covers. But yeah, so keep that with all my gold bars and $1 million shotguns. Yeah, filled with basically nothing in there but a few guns that I don't really know how to use. And then in here, we just made a revamp of my network. So I've clearly got to get a new light fixture because this one doesn't work for squat. But this is part of the new Carrier Infinity that we did a couple of years ago. Apparently Michelle was hoarding some bounty. I screwed up. This happened by accident. I had set up like Amazon, whatever, regular delivery of 6 months ago. And we just now turned it off where I was getting it like twice a month or something. I overestimated how much we need. And so I've got this torn apart because I'm having issues with the network. So I just called Red Ash, my friend Ramel. Red Ash is going to come out. We extended our Cat 5 connections in order to put in this rack and put in a UPS battery backup and everything. But the issue is that my Dream Machine is not passing full gigabit. And so you can see I'm cutting off zip ties and messing with it. I'm not a big Sonos type, but we have 3 Sonos amps powering the exterior speakers, which we just did. And so I took the cover off here, and so we're back to square one where I've made a mess of things. And this is the Bose amplifier for the Bose speakers that are in the family room that someday I'll probably replace. I actually bought a backup Dream Machine just in case, but the Dream Machine is Ubiquiti's, I guess you could say, network switch, if you will, router network switch. We're going to put a hard drive in there and be able to record from the cameras here soon too. So this was part of the recent project that we just did. That box sticks out way more than I had assumed it would, but it needs to be that deep in order to fit all the stuff, I guess. But this is just a closet. You can kind of see the yellow walls and yellow trim. This is the way the house was when we moved in. Just some laminate flooring, but I'd like to do a little bit higher level of organization in here once I get this all done and buttoned up. It was buttoned up, and I just tore it apart the other day because the internet isn't functioning properly. I need a new route or a new modem, and you know, I guess the extension of the Cat 5 wires that the home theater guys did isn't allowing us to pass gigabit over to the home theater switch. So not a huge change in here other than getting that put back together. I just tore this apart last night, so it hasn't been sitting like that too long. I guess not last night, the last week, I should say. So then those Sonos amps, the reason why we chose those was because I didn't have the ability to wire. I was already wired. And so B&W, which we very rarely use, but they had Bose speakers in the ceiling, and so we pulled out the Bose and put those in, and then bought a couple of $500 amps or whatever they are. So this here is that Bose Lifestyle. Is an old Lifestyle 25. Actually, believe it or not, the subwoofer is in a cavity up there, inaccessible. So when it craps out, I have to cut a hole in the wall. So I probably will never change it. And then there's two of the little rears in the back here, which is sufficient for this room. This is a 65 LG OLED that functions well. I watch mostly in this room now, but when we're washing dishes or something, I always like to have a TV so that I can see it.
At some point, you're going to peek your little eyes open.
I just got back from a GT4 trip, Shelly. I'm worn out. I had to entertain people. I got to let the camera cool down, so I'm taking a little rest.
I just had to video what was going on in between little takes of your house tour. I only got like 4 or 5 hours of sleep. I need a minute to get out of here. So now, out here is going to be a big project. So this is something I'm going to be working on. Something that's bothered me since we moved in. So
there's a single weird little spotlight, and then we got some funky, really beat up old fans. You know, again, it's like I'm swimming in the pool out here, just standing here. So we had some weird patio furniture and stuff out here, but what my intention is to get a big, I laid it out and the dog chewed the other side, but to get like a 14-foot long table. And so we're gonna have a big giant table that spans this whole area. I'm gonna fix this fireplace. I just did a 75-inch LCD. I just did new speakers out here that'll be powered by Sonos. And leave the hot tub here is fine. But don't you think that'd be super cool to have, like, you know, every time we have a party we lay out like white tables and crap. And so I think that would be sweet to have that set up here like this. And then we're going to be doing new fixtures out here as well. New fixtures out there. At least that's the plan. So I got a little sidetracked there. Bryce and Kyle came and dropped my GT3 off. So anyway, so out here, nothing really changes other than we're doing some new light fixtures. Audio's good. 75-inch LCD because OLED doesn't really work out here in this high glare area, and 65. So the big plan here, we really love the flagstone. We love how this looks, but the big plan here is to gut this whole darn thing. So you can see how dark it is in here. I mean, it's the light of the day. This is a really crappy Blaze grill. I bought this just temporarily because we had a Viking in here that just crapped out and stopped working, and so the Viking was 10 years old, and so I bought this cheap Blaze here, which is garbage, and then I brought this over from OGHQ, and so the intent here is, the problem is, you know, it's 90% humidity out here, and it's 100 degrees, and so you can't really put anything in any of these cabinets. So we've got all these cabinets with nothing in them. And then this hood, and the problem here is that you cook 15 burgers, and then the hood is vented basically right on this back wall here. And so what happens is the breeze, so the hood vent is right up top there on the ceiling. You see that? And so what happens is the breeze grabs all the smoke and then blows it down underneath here into this whole area. And so what I'm intending to do is we're going to take this, take the hardy board out, take this whole wall out, this whole half wall out, leave the beams. We're going to take this giant 90s counter, this thing's huge and pointless, and we're going to do a counter much like this. Which is, I mean, just look at the width of this thing. It's freaking massive. And so this whole section will go to here instead of all the way out to there. So it'll open up this whole area. So we'll do a sink. I'm gonna get rid of a fridge, because the fridge, we keep having, this is where I'm like our third fridge out here. It just can't handle it. Notice the fridge door hits the window, and so this is going out of here. This fridge basically doesn't work. Grill out of here. We don't need a dishwasher out here. I don't even use a dishwasher in the house. Ice machine out of here. So we'll do a sink probably here, like a farmhouse sink. Do like a single height countertop. Open up this wall. Do like a really nice looking stainless hood of some sort and figure out how to pipe it elsewhere. And then sort of gut this whole area, and then do new fans, new lights. So I want to do, I don't know what we should do. Maybe you can give me some suggestions on what kind of lighting we should do out here. Obviously this will lighten up as we open up this area. And so I want to do a probably DCS grill, Evo cooktop, and probably side burner, and then maybe like a little tiny fridge. But even then, I mean, our regular fridge is freaking 2 feet away, right there. So I don't even know if I'll put a fridge out here. It's nothing but problems. And so that's the plan. We would have to fix the flagstone. And so again, I want to rip this whole thing out and start fresh. I just think it'll open up this whole area so much better. So that's the plan. Giant table, audio video is good out here. You can see this TV all the way from in the pool, which is awesome. So when we have if we ever have a Super Bowl again, you know, I have Super Bowl parties and stuff. I mean, look at this, it's freaking awesome out here. Just got the basketball hoop, which is cool. Yeah, you can see the display. Fixed the fireplace, so that'll be good. So then we had this goofy table, so we have to drain the pool. I told you, a lot of projects. Drain the pool. Get rid of this thingy. Well, I guess we can't take out the stairs, but get rid of that. There was a table there with an umbrella. So apparently Ryan put put my kayaking oar from adventure racing in there. And maybe get a few new, you know, pieces of patio furniture. We only have 2 of them out here. Look at how awesome this area is. It's so good. So cool. So, replacing the fixtures. Again, I have 6 speakers out here, so we have good audio. Fix that. Doors are all good. We don't need any paint or anything. Everything looks great. Just do some pressure washing. We have, you know, have them come out, you know, every 6 months or so, just to take care of that. The bird cage looks good. This door is fixed. Maybe do some more flagstone here for that shower, which we don't use very often. And then we're going to get some new doors for out here. This is a pool bathroom, so we don't have to go inside to go. So I don't foresee us really changing anything in here. It's fine. This is non-air conditioned. And then, but the doors are kind of warped and delaminating. So you notice it doesn't close. So we're going to get some new doors out here. The doors to match the other part of the house. And then we have some storage. So I would like to do put some Swiss tracks in here. But I'd like to do some proper storage out here as well. So anyway, that's the plan for the pool deck. Now, the pool equipment. Mike, Mike who does all the projects with me. So Mike Figueroa is going to come out. And again, we'll drain the pool down. So we're going to have a pool company fix that piece there. And then we want to do, so here's our propane coming in. And the propane runs out to the tank, which is in that bed by the trademark truck out there. And so we're probably going to do solar and propane heat. Oh man, it's a never-ending battle with weeds and crap. We're hiring another company again to come out because we have our guy, he just can't handle it, it's just too much. So we're gonna gut this whole thing, do some variable speed pumps. It's about time. And so Mike and I, well mainly Mike, will come and redo and fix this whole thing and dial in our heater so that's the heater for the spa or whatever you call that thing, the whirlpool thingy. And so we're going to have this all redone here. That's a big project that really needs to get done sooner rather than later. All right, so the fire pit was just redone, so the fire pit looks good. Whatever we decide to do for lighting fixtures, we'll do the same thing out here. There's I think like 20 different fixtures outside. The fire pit is good. The chairs are good. Nothing major here. This was the worst part of the grass. You can see it's starting to come back. We're starting to get the pH up, and so it's starting to fill in. Same thing here. This had gotten beaten up when we had these big magnolia trees that we had taken out. Same thing with this. So now this stuff can't handle the shade, so we need to do just these 2 beds here, like the last 2 that kind of need some attention. But you can see how much darn landscaping there is here at this place. It's insane. So the yard, I'll show you out front here, but the yard is starting to come together. So the breezeway porte-cochere area, there's the vent for the kitchen, which is fine. Again, the house was just painted. The roof should be good for another 5 or 10 years. I would love to do a solar roof at some point, but for now the roof is good. So that's the side entry door that we showed earlier that we'll replace, and then we'll go into the home theater here in a minute. All right, so take note of kind of the exterior of the house and how it's set up here. If we kind of walk out front, you can see the upstairs area. But this covered area, I'm going to show you the attic, what the intention is. So that's the home theater, and then the attic runs all the way across and then stops here. That's Ryan's room up here in the corner. That's the playroom, that's Kate's room. So just take note of that as we go upstairs and start talking about the air conditioning. We'll come back and talk about the home theater after we go upstairs. So for frame of reference, this is the door we use more than anything, which gets slammed all the time like this. And so it's not closing properly. So we got to get that fixed. So another thing I'd like to note is that, you know, it's a little yellow. The camera's compensating. I tried doing like 3,500 and 4,000 Kelvin lights, but it just feels really weird, too blue. And so I think 3,000 K is the appropriate color temp. This here is a little closet. Not really planning on changing anything here. Some kids crap. But the hope is that we're not that far away from no more kids crap. So let's go upstairs and show you what's doing up here. Light fixtures we'd replaced. And so Kate's room is over here on the right. Looking down onto the family room area. So this is pretty typical of what our house looks like. You know, it's not super dialed in, like we didn't do any really prep work for the video. But things like that drive me crazy. So this room is funky. You can see all the areas of the window, or where the window is, and then the areas of the ceiling. And so one of the things we had done here recently is I had the painters come and caulk all these holes or all the cracks in the tongue and groove, because we have some serious efficiency issues. The other thing that was happening, so this is something I fixed here recently, this pocket, as you might imagine if you just look at this, would be a sweat pocket. You know, so we would get this funk, just air get trapped here, and then we'd end up with, you know, condensation and mold and stuff. And so I bought this little fan, and so that little fan functions really well and haven't had an issue since. Caulking all the joints and then putting the fan in there and just letting it run all day. It's, you know, it's a minor cost to keep the room cooler and keep everything working and functioning well. Here we have an air vent, so this pocket, this area hasn't been an issue. This room has a crappy little closet, but I think this is a cool room. You can see Michelle's set up Kate's new big girl bed. And so it's just a neat little room. I think it's kind of neat. But the bathroom, well, you'll notice brown and yellow, brown tub, brown toilet. And so this is on the short list to gut both bathrooms upstairs and start fresh. I'm not sure what we would do. That's why I need Laurel, our interior designer, to go and help us figure out what to do up here. It's not terrible, but well, the brown toilet is terrible. But it's something that this is on the list. I didn't talk about this downstairs, but I found these amazing Panasonic fans, you know, the whatever vent fans, so I'm going to be doing those here soon as well. Little medicine cabinet here, a little closet, actually pretty significantly sized closet. So this is something we don't need to really change anything on, but I would like to consider having this bathroom redone. Same thing with the carpet. So changing all the carpets and all the flooring has been on Michelle's Christmas list the last 3 years we've been here. So over here, I don't know what this will morph into when the kids get older, but right now this is Kate's like art play area, which I hate. But I did a big ass fan there, big ass fan here, because again we were having the same issue. This pocket would hold funky air, and that air needed to be moving. And so we had a chandelier in here, which Michelle preferred. But the painters came and we caulked all these joints, and that has helped. We haven't had any issues with any more water or condensation, because you think about it, you have hot air coming from the roof, and then cold air coming from our beefed up AC system, and we end up with a disaster. So what's been happening is we end up with condensation, which could be a major future problem. You can see some condensation on the air vent there. And so what's happening is, again, we just have a humidity issue. The other problem we have is that this air handler here is inverted, and then we have all the ducts that are ducting that's run between the first and second floor, which is extremely problematic. And so what we may end up doing is revamping this thing and doing something different with the AC system, but that means we have to tear out walls. So what we're hoping to do, and I talked to Brian Orr this morning, is I'm going to have a company come in. We can add attic access here, and we seal off and isonine this whole upper area. That's why I showed you what it looked like outside. And so isonine as much as we can, get over into the peaks of the roof as far as we can, and hopefully lower the ambient temperature of the attic substantially. And that may help us with the issue. Then the second thing we're going to do is then add dehumidification. So we're not going to mess with the AC at first. So our last resort is we come in here and start tearing this apart and changing how we're ducting our AC unit. So this unit here, the air handler that's in here, is what takes care of the entire lower floor, with the exception of the master. You saw that air handler in our utility closet, and then there's another air handler that's in the attic over here. And so then Ryan's bathroom would also be a gut as well. So we'd gut this, start fresh. Ryan's isn't as I think as critical as Kate's, but change the toilet and stuff. I don't know that we would change the shower, but I don't know. We'll talk with Laurel and see about. I got to change the light bulb there. About gutting this and doing them both. New carpet and all that. So we got Ryan set up. I hate this chair. This is like an Amazon special, but nobody really makes great gaming chairs. And so Ryan, I set up his setup here as a 65-inch Samsung LCD. I didn't want to do LED for him because he'd burn it in. A little Klipsch sound bar, and I think it's pretty cool. Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and then you can watch YouTube and stuff like that up here. And then we're going to get some sort of bunk bed or something cool for Ryan's room. He's never gotten a nifty bedroom set. This was our old guest room stuff from our last house. So I think we'll probably do something for him here really soon. So then his closets are over here, which are fine. I don't think we really need to do anything here with the closets. We got this darn closet organization, which I'm sure they spent tons of money on in the past. So now this is the main attic. I'm not going in here for too long. It's super freaking hot. But what I'm thinking of doing here, one, we're going to clean this out. That's the project. Again, clean out a lot of the kids stuff, house stuff. Most of this is all in my home theater box and stuff like that. But what I'm going to do is isonine this here and condition this space. And I've been talking about whether I drywall this or not. And see, there's the other air handler. And what we may be able to do is put the second air handler for the main house in here and change the way the ducting works. But we're going to isonine all of this, and then possibly, I'm definitely going to condition that area, and then possibly set up some, or drywall it in, and you can kind of see where we were, frame of reference for where we were before the driveway. So this upstairs area, the main thing would be bathrooms, carpeting, bedroom stuff, and then possibly, again, for long term, if I drywalled in, made it really nice, did some nice lighting, some really high-end organization. It can't be a room because it's only about 6 feet tall, but if we had that all set up as real utility, real storage, shelving, and just some high quality organization. Maybe even what I've considered doing is doing a VersaLift. I'll explain that when we go over there. But if you look up VersaLift, do a VersaLift down in the porte-cochere so we could access that that without having to walk all the way through the house would be really kind of neat. All right, so in doing all of the audio stuff that I wanted to get done and the displays out in the patio area, I've got the home theater. Now, problem one is this door. I'm gonna have doors, when we do the new doors, I'm gonna have them swing out. It's more secure to have them swing out because then they can't get kicked in. So that's something that we're gonna chase here. Now, this carrier mini split has been a disaster since day one. Notice it's leaking right now down the wall. Oh shoot, I've got to dump that. So I've got a new one of these coming in a couple of days. Crap. Let me do this right now. Alrighty, you see why you can't neglect things. So I got a freaking puddle of water here. These things, the drain lines get clogged, so I just went out and blew on the drain line and fixed it. Okay, so anyway, this thing's coming out. I ordered a Mitsubishi mini split. So this thing's just been in problems from day one. And so it's super humid in here and just garbage. So good thing I had taken down my acoustic treatment because it was dripping a little bit off and on. And so I just fixed that, and I just got some towels. Hopefully this will dry up. I'll come check on it, make sure we're okay. And anyway, the home theater. So I woke up one morning and said, you know, I want to do the audio system in the house, get that fixed because it wasn't working. And so let's get the home theater dialed in and let's do a screen. So in my infinite wisdom, I hate projectors. I decided, let's do a projector. So this is a 120 inch, 2.35 to 1 anamorphic screen. Notice the lumpiness in it. And so this is a 1.5 or 1.4 gain screen from Screen Innovations. And so I'm getting rid of this, and my Unity gain screen, a 1.0 gain. I'm probably gonna have to paint the walls black. And then you notice I got my subwoofers up front. So I got the 418s up front, which is amazing. Center channel is now out of the cabinet, which you saw in the other room. And then we built this rack into the wall, which is freaking awesome. And then I guess I got hit by lightning or something. I don't know, maybe just the Yamaha crap that I came in here yesterday and the Yamaha stopped working. So the screen's getting fixed. I ordered a new Yamaha. I called the company to be able to send this in to get repaired, so I'll have a backup, I guess. I don't see a light on my other Theater Grand amplifiers, so hopefully that hasn't failed. Network switch is in here. I've actually called. So anyway, where is the remote control? It's right here. So Logitech remote. We'll do a whole home theater review, whatever, tour, once I get this thing fixed and figured out. But my Furman's good. I actually plugged the Yamaha directly into an outlet that I know was working, and doesn't power on. So it stinks. It's like 11 months old. And you know, I guess I could try to warranty it, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to work. So network switches here. Again, we just talked about my friends from Red Ash are going to come and get the network dialed in. I'm only getting 100 megabits per second because of that weird wiring. So this is, I'm going to have to make some patch and stuff here. So I'm probably going to end up painting the ceiling and the front wall black. And then here's my, you know, Sony VPL-VW 695 ES projector. And I'm going to patch the ceiling there. So yeah, it's one project after another. And so this thing is pretty sweet. I don't know how it's set up. So I like how this turned out. It doesn't vibrate, there's no issues. I trimmed it out. I just need to get, probably paint the walls black. And then no more rear firing subwoofers. This actually rips. It sounds freaking incredible. But the other issue is the HDMI cable is not functioning, and so I got a true tested, tone generated, fiber optic powered HDMI cable from Lou Santinella from the home theater group that I'm in on Facebook. And so, yeah, this is going to come together here. I was able to move these back a little bit, and then we ran some pretty stout basic SVS speaker cable. I didn't want to buy some real super high-end stuff. So anyway, new coming in here shortly for a 7.2.4 Dolby Atmos system. So the last interior area to discuss is back here. This is the closet where we have everything There's the carrier that's going to be replaced. And then in here is kind of air conditioned, and then we have a heat pump. This is my water softening system, nothing will change there. That's our iron breaker, and I forget which one each one does. One is a softener and one is an iron remover. But this is a GE, I think it's GE, I believe so. This is a GE. What the heck is this thing? Uh-oh. Oh boy. Is our drain line not draining there? Crap. Can't freaking win here. Got some rusting there. I've never seen any water here. Maybe that's just part of how this thing works. Anyway, these aren't all that expensive anyway. In the grand scheme of what I just talked about. Yippee. Maybe someone can comment on that. You see that rusting on the side there? Clearly something to do with the drain line and water building up. We'll have to address that as well. So anyway, I got some steady racks in here for the bikes. Just sort of trying those out. And here's our rack. In here, I put Swiss tracks down in this area. Functions rather well. Keep all the funky crap underneath it, and we can vacuum it once in a while. Some Rubbermaid fast track. This is a constant battle. This is the kids' catch-all room with garbage. And so this actually looks better than it ever has. So here's our transfer switch that switches between our generator and the meter, you know, when the generator craps out. And then our Grundfos super high-end, that is a recirculator to recirculate back to the master bathroom, so that makes the water, because the water heater run is pretty substantial, pretty long. So has to run there. I keep taking that, debadging that energy guy thing, but then I gotta go get the Tarex out. That's rather disconcerting. There's rust on the bottom of it too. But again, we've never had water in here. Maybe that's just what these things do. It's only a couple of years old. This thing is basically rusted out. I mean, it's spongy on the side. I'll have to take this drain line off and take a look in there. Maybe it's clogged, and maybe the water's just sitting in there. It stresses me out. I like to have things dialed in. And so the network, the way it's set up, is that the network through the nano beam feeds the pole barn. But originally, to do the pole barn, we had to run power, like a 200 amp service out here. And so we had to cut the driveway. And so we've got some driveway repair to do, which I'll likely do when we do the garage. So again, I made a list of all this stuff. There is the generator. So I'll walk over there. I actually filmed it earlier, so we'll cut away to that and show you what the generator and the well looks like. And then our tank, our 500-gallon tank, is buried right here for all of our propane stuff. Since he's out here working on the generator, I might as well show you what this thing is. It's basically a Ford B6 in there, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. And then what that thing is.
The 3.0, like what they had in the Rangers.
That's funny. I always thought a darn generator was like some voodoo science. No, it's just a big old gas engine with a propane converter thingy, right?
Pretty much.
So you're just changing the oil and just doing routine maintenance.
Yes, sir.
This is a 30 kilowatt.
I believe it's about a 40 or 48.
Yeah, forget what size this thing is, but this is a super legit full, like we can run like AC the whole darn thing.
50. It's a 50 kilowatt.
50 kilowatt monster.
Yep.
3 liter Ford V6 thinger out here. So the idea here is that if you know, at any time the power kicks off, it comes on in like a minute or something like that.
Pretty much.
And what we had an issue the last 2 years ago, the hurricane, there was an open header. And so the exhaust was bad. You could hear it from like 3 blocks away.
I was reading the notes about that. saw the bad exhaust and all that.
It is awesome. We thought there was something wrong with it. I thought it was broken. I'm like, man, there's no way this thing's supposed to be like 59 decibels at 13 feet. And it was like, it was like 125 decibels at 13 feet. Yeah, it was pretty incredible.
When they get old like this, the humidity in Florida, it just rots the metal.
Yeah. So we had a new exhaust and all that, and then our well was over here. So I would actually put a new big receiver tank. I need to put a hand pump so when the zombie apocalypse comes, I can still come out and pump water. So that's the plan. So the intention is to bring the driveway through here, down through there. This is where that little goofy house was, if you remember the old videos, like a little playhouse. So there's a crappy soccer net back there. And so this has to get cleaned up and irrigated, but likely we'll bring the driveway through, and the driveway will still come around and wrap around, and the garage is gonna go back there. Get these bamboo trees that have kind of become overgrown. You can see our grass is starting to come back. But we've got some driveway repairs to do. I'll walk out front and show you. This is where we cut through. And so from the weight of the Raptor running here every day, it's starting to get beaten up. I had put this sidewalk in. But the wash bay is also on the docket to get done. I guess we can run out here and talk about that really quickly. So this is my dedicated wash bay. The goofy, whatever you call it, cleanless gutters always have to be cleaned. All those companies come sell you that bull crap. So out here, I'm going to be doing osmotic drying system, putting some fans, eventually pulling up this concrete when we build the garage, doing some slot drains to drain the water out. The driveway will come down and connect and run down this way behind the building out to the garage that we'll build out back. So I'm going to be doing Sonic MSS Plus cabinets out here, and really kind of revamping how this is set up. I started thinking about if I build a garage, maybe I could build it to where I just drive through here. So we take this room out and we just drive through. So if you haven't seen this, your first time here, this is my dedicated wash bay area. This is only 13 feet deep, so you can't pull a car in here. But I technically don't have a garage. And then a boom pole, pressure washer, the whole setup. So I'll be doing the new pressure washer and kind of revamping this wash bay area here at some point in the not too distant future. So that's the plan out here. Gosh, this is a lot of work. I need to come up with less ambitious goals. So again, the driveway would come down here. I'll take out a couple of these trees. It'll make a turn. We'll have to take this tree out here, and it will go down this way. All right, the camera was overheating, so I was being a little too nonchalant about the most amazing part about this whole project, this whole house, this whole thing. So the garage, so reference, and I've been thinking about maybe I just make this a drive-through. So I drive through the wash bay, and then the garage is going to go somewhere in this vicinity. So you notice the property line is that fence back there, but it goes way down, so it goes at a sharp angle that way. And so we'd have to bring in fill dirt and stuff over here. But, for reference, there's the house. And so we have all this room to build whatever I could dream up. And so what I would like to do is build back here somewhere. I don't want to remove too many trees, but I'd like to build a sport court as well, somewhere where you can't really see it. But build like a full court basketball, volleyball, the whole thing. And so somewhere in this neighborhood is where all this magic is going to happen. And so there's the house and the pool and all of that. And so could you imagine this compound if it has a giant garage? It'd be freaking awesome. Problem is, the garage is going to cost $400,000. And so once I do that, I'll never get that money back. We'll never be able to recoup that. Like someone would buy the house and say, "Oh, that's cool," but no one's going to pay for it. So we need to be sure, and I'm pretty sure this is where we want to be. So you can see the property line over here, and then we can't really build anything out front of the house. But I mean, look how much, there's a darn acre right there. all the way down. The driveway's pretty good here. No issues. You can see the grass is starting to come in. We're starting to get the pH proper. All the landscaping looks pretty good out here. There's the basketball hoop that we use all the time. The front yard looks great. Here's the front of the house. Probably should have shown this in the beginning of the video. And then the driveway kind of snakes around to the right and left here. And there's the porte-cochere. So as I was saying earlier, I've been thinking about adding a VersaLift in here, which is a pulley-driven lift. So you could do, wouldn't it be cool to do some stairs and a VersaLift so you could lift product up into the attic and not have to walk all the way through the house. Look at the front yard. Front yard's looking great. See how the grass is coming in strong, nice. And so here's the front entrance of the house. It's really a gosh darn dream. If you remember, I paid $820 grand for this house in 2016, and we probably spent, I don't know what I spent, 100 or so on it. But this thing is a lot for the money. And so we've got a little bit of driveway fix to do there, and then there's a big caving in point down here. So you can see how much maintenance it is. Yard maintenance is about $1,000 a month now, and that guy just quit. So I think we're gonna have to find it. He didn't really quit; it's just too much. So we cut the perimeter a couple of times a year. It's just a big, huge. You see, it goes all the way down 500 feet that way, and all the way. It's 5.7 acres. And so we're gonna replace these two lights here. And then the goal, you can imagine how dark this is at night. The goal is to do also in this project to do some sort of landscape lighting to kind of lighten up the property. Our mailbox is down here, but this needs to get fixed. So we're going to have to chop this section out. So we have to cut this out here, that whole section, and re-pour it. And then this is our street. Mailbox there. Nice paved road, sealed. Looks good. So that's our house. And all the little minor things I want to do to it. So what do you think? Should we just knock it down and start over? Or should I keep going? Do all these little projects. Now, I just talked to you about all the plans I have for the next multiple years. So don't get all bent out of shape about this. You just take something and make it better. That's what I do. That's what I chase. And I've not let the place go, but I haven't focused on it as much. I focused on the business a lot more. And so, garage, sport court, icing, upgraded AC, fix the doors, make the place great. That's the plan. Yeah, so that's a wrap on my house. Again, I think this is going to take a little while. I think it's going to take a few years to get through, mainly dollar-wise. What I talked about, I kind of roughed in what I'm thinking, excluding the garage and the sport court, is about, I estimated about $160,000 of changes, maybe give or take a little, $10,000 or $15,000. I think I'm relatively accurate on that, depending on how far we go on some of the projects and how nice we make it. But I live my life every day trying to improve something. I'm always attempting to improve every day, make a little adjustment, make a little improvement. And I feel like I've finally come up for some air, and the business is humming along. I'm going to continue to make tons and tons of content for that. I appreciate you watching these sort of obscure videos. These videos tend to do better than the videos that I do every day. But thank you for watching and the support. And again, go check out obsessedgarage.com. The sale is going to be going on in a week, roughly a week from now when you're watching this video. But I appreciate your comments on, you guys help me out a lot about thinking about and considering ideas. I do read them all. I don't always respond to all of them anymore, but I do read them all, and I've learned a lot from you. So I appreciate that engagement and those comments of making suggestions on whether I should choose a different acoustic treatment or maybe consider a different type of grill or something like that. I do appreciate that. So thanks for watching. As always, stay tuned for more crazy. We're going to have lots of car content. The GT4 is coming. I'm back on the road. I had a really great drive tonight. That's why I'm so excited right now. I drove for about 40 miles and just drove around with no intentions. If you're not familiar, I do suffer from some pretty rough OCD, and OCD is the root, but I tend to panic. I have panic disorder when I'm driving around, and so anyway, I've been working to improve that, and we've talked about that in other videos. So anyway, catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Oh, I'll be sure to bring you along as we do these projects in the house. I'll be doing videos on all this stuff. So catch you soon.